What's up, y'all? My name is Prince, and I'm an urban acolyte. In the month of August, there are 31 days, and I'm gonna do 31 videos about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. So there's a Facebook thread, a Q&A post, where I'm taking questions that I will be answering in these videos. So there's a link down in the video description if you want to get in on some of the action. Before I get into the topic or answering the question for today, I just want to give a special shout out to Odin's, I started to say Odin's Hammer, Odin's movie review channel or whatever, from the Dorks and Depends crew. I wanted to congratulate Odin's movie channel and Jeremy on their new single. It's a remix to the song Homies Over Hoes. It's called Geeks Over Girlfriends. They even got a cool dance to it. It's Geeks Over Girlfriends, Geeks Over Girlfriends, Geeks Over Girlfriends, Geeks Over Girlfriends. Do the combo, do the combo, do the combo. Do the combo, geeks over girlfriends, geeks over girlfriends, geeks over So anyway, hop over to the Geeks and Gamers channel and ask Jeremy where you can hear his new single, Geeks Over Girlfriends, and learn how to do the combo. So anyway, let's get to the question for today. It's coming from Nate Noble. Nate has a two-part question. He says, do you think that Finn will be part of the new Jedi? And also, is Poe going to become the leader of the Resistance? All right, so I kicked off this channel with my video, 5 Reasons That Finn Will Become a Jedi. At the time, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. No one was watching me on YouTube, and I figured I'd just make the most creative Star Wars video following The Last Jedi that I could. And I was looking for reasons to say that I think Finn will become a Jedi, or at least that's something I'd like to see. I'm not alone in that. I mean, even Samuel L. Jackson was like, yo, man, Finn is a Jedi. You got to have the Force to turn on the lightsaber. And that's my grandson, right? And that started the whole, Finn is Mace Windu's son or grandson and all other stuff, right? It only takes one comment from someone with a lot of followers to start a bunch of dumb fan theories, just like leading up to The Last Jedi. This time in 3 years ago, right, there were people saying that Kylo Ren was actually Luke Skywalker, right? Now, of course, that sounds dumb now, but I guarantee you there's somebody watching this video who's running around spreading that nonsense, right? Finn is not related to Mace Windu, or he's not his grandson, because Mace Windu died in Revenge of the Sith, right? He had to die, otherwise the whole point of Anakin's turn to the dark side would have been pointless, right? He felt remorseful, he was afraid after he participated in the death of Mace Windu. What have I done, right? And if you read the Revenge of the Sith novel, it even says that Anakin was sensing the fight between Mace Windu and Palpatine through the Force. So if he's sensing them through the Force, what, all of a sudden he just, I'm just gonna turn off Mace Windu's controller, right? I'm gonna turn his mic off and I'm gonna ignore him. No, he knew that he died. That's why he felt remorseful. He could no longer sense him. So anyway, getting back to Finn, I don't like to do these kind of speculations and stuff, because all theories are bad, right? All these speculations are bad, right? I had a guy who was so died in the wool, dedicated to my video that Finn is gonna become a Jedi, and arguing in the comments and sending me messages and everything else, anything that hinted that Finn was gonna become a Jedi and that I said Finn would be a badass in episode 8 based on what John Boyega said. John Boyega said that stuff, right? In my video about how, Finn was supposed to do a whole lot of stuff with the lightsaber, more than what we saw in The Force Awakens in the early cut. And that information all came from Jason Ward over at Making Star Wars, right? So it was legit information as far as the people who tend to have the legit information. Sometimes they read stuff wrong based on how it's presented to them, but it's more legit than fucking Mike Zero. But I'm gonna say this, right? There are people who say Finn is gonna be force sensitive like Chirrut Imwe. Charlie over at Emergency Awesome has a big video on that, a Finn force sensitive theory video. I haven't watched the video. I don't watch too much geek stuff at all anymore because I'm busy. With Charlie, I mean, he's the GOAT. I copied his style when I started covering Star Wars, right? But I've reached a point where I like can't watch any of Charlie's Star Wars videos, because in some ways I feel that as far as the George Lucas canon, I feel like I know more than he does. One of the reasons I started covering Rebels is because he stopped. Back when I wasn't doing videos, I was watching his Rebels reviews, and then he stopped, and he kind of sounded like he didn't like Rebels. And I'm sitting here, well, I like Rebels. I don't care if it's slow. I'm enjoying it. It's Star Wars. It's something different. I like it. And when I saw Ahsoka come down that ladder, I was like, oh man, everybody's gonna be watching Rebels next season. And I mean, I think I was right. Everybody started watching Rebels when Ahsoka came back for season 2, and you know, the whole Malachor, all of that stuff. You know, before then, no one was talking about freaking Rebels, right? And people who told me Rebels sucked, they were all in by the time Rebels ended, right? So, Chirrut Imwe is not force sensitive. He's force attuned. He has trained himself to become attuned to the force, to recognize the force, but the force is in everyone, right? It's just some people are more gifted where they can manipulate the physical world through the force. And something that I have been hoping to see in Star Wars is that you do at some point see people who can study the force, train in the ways of the force the way the Jedi do, or maybe someone else, because the Jedi don't have a monopoly on the force. Maybe someone else, or maybe we discover that the original Jedi were about teaching the ways of the force to anyone, and the people who were the most gifted, you know, they became the grandmasters, the masters in certain aspects of the force, right? Because we saw, or at least I read that in the new Darth Vader comic book, where Kirik Infala, right, when he was believed that he had defeated Vader, and he was like, well, I just killed a Sith, I gotta go find the Sith Lord, his master, and kill him. And he tells this kid, when I come back, I'm gonna teach you the ways of the Force. I'm gonna take you under the Padawan. And I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, is this kid strong with the Force? Or is it just they have this bond and he's just gonna teach him the ways of the Jedi? Right? It's very unclear, right? So there's also something I said maybe in a live stream or somewhere else, where I said I think they could pull this whole thing off, the awakening of the Force, the cosmic Force awakening, right? The cosmic Force, a sign of the awakening is new abilities will awaken in people, right? Finn wakes up, or actually Finn shakes off his, or he defects from the First Order, but it's not like he shook off the programming. The programming never took. And I've always felt that one of the reasons is because he's force sensitive, he's physically superior to the other cadets in training, right? If he's so superior, why is he a janitor, Prince? He's a cadet, right? Anyone who has served in the military, when you're not qualified to do anything, all you do is clean, right? It's just, and people, I've had people claim to be veterans and I never cleaned anything. Well then, whoop-de-damn do for you, or either that or, you know, you're stolen valor and you never actually served, because I cleaned so much shit, right, in boot camp, and when all you did was clean and do whatever your RDCs told you to, and around the ship when there wasn't something to fix, you know, I did it so much that now when I go out places and I like get bored or I get nervous, I just randomly start cleaning stuff, right? So, you know, I understood the whole, I was a janitor here, he wasn't a janitor. He was on janitorial duty, right? Which is what cadets did. The reason he knew the reason he knew his way around Snoke's ship, right? Because he was having to clean mop P-ways and take out the trash down to the, you know, the janitorial levels, right? That's even mentioned in the freaking Phasma novel, right? When what's his name, Cardinal, is down in the recesses of the ship interrogating the resistance spy chick, right? I forget her name, right? And he's kind of like, man, I hope no stormtroopers come down. The only stormtroopers who would come down here are the ones on janitorial duty to you know, cleaning the bilge and taking out trash and all that kind of stuff, right? So I mean, there's an explanation for why Finn was on janitorial duty, and at this point, anyone who's still stuck on that, I mean, it's honestly, they're dumb, right? I'm just be real. They're dumb. They're being intellectually irresponsible, right? That the movie, we've known about this character for 3 years now, and you still don't know why he was on or 2.5. You still don't know why he was on janitorial duty. You're still, well, he was a janitor. He can't be that awesome, right? He was a cadet, right? The mission on Jakku was his second piece of action. The first piece was at mining facility where Phasma basically told his fire team to execute people in cold blood, and Finn wasn't gonna do it, right? So, but the question is about Finn joining the new Jedi. I don't know. I mean, who's to say that there will be new Jedi? Luke is not going to be the last Jedi. Rey is. Rey's got the ancient Jedi text. What will she do with it? Where do we go from here? I don't know. I mean, in my mind, the Jedi have to come back, right? Lord Santeca said it at the start of The Force Awakens. In order for there to be balance, the Jedi must return. Something along those lines, right? Not Luke Skywalker has to come back. The Jedi must come back. And maybe he's just figured out that, hey man, Luke Skywalker's done some awesome stuff, but just through his research and his knowledge of the Force, right? He realized kind of the same thing that Luke said, that to think the Jedi have monopoly on the light side is it's a heresy, right? But the Jedi have knowledge of the light side. They have knowledge of the Force, and if the Jedi do what they're supposed to do, they will spread knowledge of the Force. For me, that's Rey becoming the giver of boons. Boon being the knowledge of the Force, not just the light side, not just the, oh, I'm a Jedi and I'm so great and I'm here to restore balance and order of the Republic. No, you serve the Force, not the Republic. That's the mistake the Jedi made at the height of their hubris. If Finn is interested in that route, if he's Force sensitive, then I really hope that would happen. If he's not, then give him the opportunity to do that if that's where his interest lies. If he's gonna follow Rey, or you know, if it's like Boofire's theory, Rey is a wound in the Force. If Rey actually is a Mitra Surik type character, and she's not a wound in the Force, right? Her charisma spreads to everyone around her, and there's things in the Last Jedi novelization when Luke looks at Rey through the Force, right? The light side shines so bright that it illuminates everything around her. If we're going there and Rey is like this Mitra Surik character, then just through their adventures and her charisma, I could see it rubbing off on Rose, Finn, and Poe Dameron. If they introduce any other new young characters who can move Star Wars, this part of the saga forward, I would like to see all of them, you know, become the new Jedi Order, right? The new Jedi Council, to move the Jedi forward, to spread the Force to the next generation and to move Star Wars forward. But I feel like as far as Finn's story is concerned, let John Boyega have a say in what happens. Let Daisy Ridley have a say in what happens. Let I'm about to call her Rose Tico. What is the Kelly Marie Tran? Let Oscar Isaac. Let the actors have some input. And the reason I say that is because it's not easy to be in Star Wars. I mean, look at the toxic community. I mean, this motherfucker Jeremy was tweeting shit at John Boyega. Like, y'all are, oh, here he is. Here's Prince hating on Geeks. How disrespectful is it for a motherfucker on YouTube that wants to be some kind of media company or some shit to you make videos and commentate about this stuff, and you're gonna like try to clap at the actors. I mean, that's disrespectful shit, man. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody, oh, I want to be, Prince, you ought to be in a Star Wars. Okay, yeah, I want to be in Star Wars so I can have people talking shit about me when I could just, hey, man, let me do something behind the scenes. Y'all give me a check. Nobody know unless they really scouring the credits to see my name in there. I can go train my kung fu, go be a real life Jedi, and I don't have to make videos. I'll just keep my royalty check, do whatever behind the scenes, live my life and be content. And I have to deal with any dumb motherfuckers on Twitter and on YouTube and Facebook and Reddit and Fortran, all this other shit, man. So that's why I'm saying, if these characters, whatever they plan to do with them, let the actors have a say in it, or you know, because hey, man, it's not easy to be in Star Wars. You gotta I mean, look at the shit that they're having to deal with. Kelly Marie Tran and Daisy Ridley having to get off Twitter and Instagram because they want to share their political views just like anybody else, right? But because they play a character in a movie, all of a sudden, you know, basic bitch motherfuckers think that they have a right to say whatever they want to them. I mean, hell, I'm not even famous and I catch it here on YouTube, right? You know, well, Prince, you only have 60,000 subscribers. You act like you big shit. You watching me, you watching and trying to clap. I'm obviously big enough that you're trying to get at me. So as far as this Poe Dameron thing, quick answer, yes, I do see him as eventually becoming the leader of the Resistance. It's kind of being teased in the Poe Dameron comic book, but I am very far behind on the comic book. So you know, those are my thoughts. Will Finn become a member of the new Jedi Order? See all my recent videos about Finn and the whole Jedi thing. I would like to see it happen, but I don't want to see it happen in episode 9. I'd like to see it hinted at. Can we get a definitive answer on whether or not he's force sensitive or what's going on? Don't just show little nostalgia pieces, a little aha, like Finn picking up, you know, Luke's training droid, or Finn opening a drawer and there's the Jedi text, right? Finn has all his compassion. Finn is this, Finn is that, or we have to read about it. First off, if everything great about Finn is only in a book and we don't actually see it in the movies, then give us more books about Finn. Get the people who are fans of Finn, give us more of that Lucasfilm. If we have to read it in a book, in a comic book, then do that. If you're not going to give Finn his own movie or give him his own share of screen time, or actually present him as a legitimate foil to Kylo Ren, right? These guys have a lot in common, right? And it started from the very beginning in The Force Awakens, them being kind of pitted against each other as adversaries. It's like they're alike but they're different. Then give us more about Finn. Let us know definitively. And like I said, if Finn is going to be this Kyle Katarn type character and have a similar arc, then give him his own story. Let him explore the Force and whatnot. And then, you know, if it's later on down the line, recast him as some older actor or John Boyega 5 years, 10 years from now, and let us actually see Finn on the screen as a Jedi with a lightsaber. As for me, hey man, representation matters. There's a lot of people who want to see a black Jedi. One point in time, or there's this rumor that Rey almost ended up being a person of color. I don't know how true that is, or maybe that was just an argument that some of the Star Wars feminists had made. That they wonder how the reception of Rey would be if she had been a woman of color. But people want to see that, man. Like I said, the Force wielders in this sequel saga are all white people or aliens. And, you know, I'm not trying to be racist or anything. I'm just pointing out the obvious. If you don't like it, well, hell, you don't like people pointing out the obvious. That's an obvious thing to me. It's enough of a concern that even white people who actually write for Star Wars on the website and the magazine have pointed it out, right? So, I mean, I don't want them to try to do too much, and I don't want to see forced diversity, right? But eventually, moving forward, we need to see that. And I'm hoping Rian Johnson will take it up in his trilogy. which I'm hearing is going to be the most diverse cast in a Star Wars project to date, not counting Jon Favreau's alleged Mandalorian live action series that we might be seeing in 2019 or 2020. That's going to be Game of Thrones level as far as the spending, based on what the rumors are. But anyway, that's really all I got to say for this one. There was another Finn question that I kind of want to address. So I know I owe you guys another video because I was asleep at this time yesterday. So obviously didn't make a video yesterday. I may answer that question and give y'all a bonus video over the weekend. But I really want to talk about the Mary Poppins Leia scene and how that saved Star Wars for me. So that'll probably be tomorrow's video. And that's all I got for this one. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Y'all keep on breathing. May the force of others be with you always.